Hello, welcome to D-board exams biochemistry review. So we're going to review glycolysis and make sure you have gone through your dental decks, okay? And this is going to be a quick review of some of the concepts you're supposed to know before you go in this exam, okay? All right, so a summary, we have a summary talking about the ATP, okay, produced in the glycolysis, pyruvate, and of course you have to know the some of the enzymes that characterize the main regulatory points of glycolysis. Okay, all right. So in glycolysis, a net of two ATPs are formed. Okay, now usually in glycolysis there are four ATPs which are formed, but you have to use two ATPs in order to produce ATP. So you are investing two ATPs, okay, and producing four ATPs. So that means you have gained two ATPs. That's what the net means, okay? It's net of two ATPs. All right. If they ask what's the gross number of ATPs produced, is going to be 4. Okay, but the net number of ATPs produced in glycolysis is 2. And then also we're going to discuss about how pyruvate has a different metabolic fate depending on the presence or absence of oxygen. Okay, so the cellular condition of the cell. Also, the regulatory point for glycolysis, okay, is characterized by the phosphofructokinase. Okay, so you have to know that phosphofructokinase is the main regulatory point of glycolysis. And then the hexokinase and pyruvate kinase reactions are also regulatory points, but not as important as the reaction which is characterized by phosphofructokinase. All right. So the fructose 2,6 bisphosphate is an important regulatory molecule, and we're going to see that. All right, so glycolysis is the process of converting glucose into pyruvate. Make sure you know that, okay? The purpose of glycolysis is to convert glucose into pyruvate. Glucose is a 6 molecule and it's broken down into half. So if you break down 6 into half, you have 3 and 3, right? So pyruvate is a 3 carbon molecule. Okay, glucose is a 6 carbon molecule, pyruvate is a 3 carbon molecule. So you produce 2 molecules of pyruvate. Okay, and there is a small amount of ATP which is produced. All right, so the net we said is 2 ATPs. All right, glycolysis. Okay, you have to understand glycolysis occurs under anaerobic condition. Glycolysis does not need oxygen. Okay, I repeat that glycolysis does not need oxygen. Glycolysis can occur in any cell without oxygen. Okay, the pyruvate. So also glycolysis. Just remember the question that they like to say. The red blood cells. Red blood cells. Remember, red blood cells don't have mitochondria. Okay, so they don't have mitochondria. So the only way they can obtain energy, produce ATP, is glycolysis. Okay, that's the only way they can produce energy. And then the pyruvate which is produced enters the citric acid cycle only when there is oxygen. Okay, so in aerobic conditions, that's when the pyruvate, which is produced in the glycolysis, enters the Krebs cycle, which is a citric acid cycle. All right, so that's a quick summary. Now let's look at some of the glycolysis in detail. Okay, so And these are the main points that of things that you have to know. Okay, the basics that you're supposed to know about glycolysis and energy production. So glycolysis is the metabolic pathway which is found universally in biological systems. Okay, so for biological system to produce energy, the glucose has to undergo glycolysis. Okay, glycolysis, of course, as you understand, is the breakdown of glucose. It is the metabolic pathway which converts glucose into two molecules of pyruvate. Remember, initially I said glucose is a six carbon molecule. So if you divide six into two, you get three. Okay. So it forms two molecules of pyruvate. Make sure you keep that in mind. One molecule of glucose produces two molecules of pyruvate. As a result, okay, a small amount of ATP and NADH are produced. So not only is ATP produced, but also we have NADH. So when you go through this, don't just memorize ATP, ATP. Also remember, okay, you have to remember which reactions are producing ATP. You have to remember which reactions are producing NADH. All right. Most of the metabolic energy derived from glucose come from the entry of pyruvate into the citric acid cycle. So um, you know that glycolysis only produces a net of two ATPs, okay? But once